And he's tricked a lot of people in Utah doing it. But in the last 4 years, he's failed us because he has not been willing to stand up to President Obama. He hasn't been willing to stand up to Nancy Pelosi. And he's pandered. He's been the last person to vote on several issues because he waits and sees if his vote matters. And if he doesn't, then he can act like a Republican so he can come home and say he doesn't support Obamacare. But we all know he does. So he's not being straight with the voters of Utah. And that's the message that we're going to get out from this Victory Center. This campaign, too, is going to be about him explaining how giving banks bailouts and giving Wall Street bankers bonuses is good for Utah. Because that's what he's been doing since he's been in Washington these last couple of years. And he's going to have to explain one really simple thing to all of us and to all the voters in the 4th Congressional District. And that is, why does he support Barack Obama when Utahns hands down support who's going to be the next president, Mitt Romney? We support Mitt Romney. If he puts Utah values first, why won't we support one of our own, so to speak, somebody that we support? Because he puts his party ahead of Utah voters. Because Utah voters overwhelmingly support our Mitt Romney. Also, I just think Jim Matheson's become a risky, unpredictable option for Utah. And I say risky and unpredictable because he will vote sometimes this way, and then he flips really quick and votes this way. We just don't know what we're going to get from him anymore. And when we have somebody as stable and predictable and conservative as Mia Love, as common sense as Mia Love, why would we send somebody as risky and unpredictable to Washington as Jim Matheson? I just don't think that would be a smart move. He's been back and forth. He needs to be accountable. And I don't know about you, but does anyone here look at David Axelrod and just get a little nervous? Like, I look at the guy and I get a little scared, right? Like, what little hair I have on my head and neck stands up. Well, this race for me, when I get out of bed in the morning and I go fight this fight as the volunteer chairman of this party, it's going to be about defeating David Axelrod because he has skin in this game. These National Democrats have skin in this game. They want to win this race. They want to prove that they can win a congressional race inside Mitt Romney's home state. And we're not going to let that happen. So this one, for me, is for David Axelrod. And I hope somehow that message gets to him. Somebody tweet that at him. Maybe he'll respond. This is our chance to stand up to Barack Obama and to help Mitt Romney as well. This Hall Center and this Victory Center helps Mitt Romney dramatically. So you can simultaneously be helping Mia Love, help defeat Jim Matheson, and help Mitt Romney all at the exact same time. So that's a pretty balanced proposition for us. And just finally, I'd say about Mia Love. Mia Love is a historic candidate that provides a new and different direction for our country. And we all agree that we need a new and different direction. I think all of us probably hoped that President Obama would go and change things and give us hope. After he won, I hoped that he would do that. I didn't want him to fail. But we know what we'll get in the next 4 years if Barack Obama is president again. We know what he'll give us. We know what Jim Matheson will give us. And we need a new direction. Mia will make Utah proud. She'll represent us by standing up to Barack Obama, right? And if Barack Obama doesn't win, she'll work with Mitt Romney. So either way, we get the best of everything. And finally, I know Mia will improve our job and education system. I know she'll help balance the budget. I know she'll reduce the national deficit. I trust Mia Love. And that's why I support her. I don't support her because she's a Republican. I support her because I trust her. I know she's conservative. And I know she's going to go to Washington, D.C. and she's going to tell it straight. And that's what we all deserve. So without saying any more, welcome to the best congressional candidate in the United States, Mia Love. And we love you guys.
Thank you all for coming. I need to have Thomas introduce me a little bit more often. That was absolutely great. First of all, I know that, did we say Representative Milburn is here? Somebody told me this. Yes? No? Did I miss somebody?
In the back.
In the back. Wave. Say hello. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. There's so many people that I recognize here. And then there's so many people that I don't recognize. But I can tell you this. By the time we are all done, I want everybody in this room to say, I did that. I did something to make that happen. And I know that that's what's going to happen. We are going to do this together. It's not about me. It's not about Thomas. It's about us making a real big difference. One of the things I wanted to talk about, Thomas talked a lot about Jim Matheson and why he is wrong for Utah. I wanted to talk about why this campaign is right for Utah and right for the country. Here's the reality. We have $16 trillion of debt. Deficit spending and climbing. We've got this childlike idea that wind and solar is going to power America's future. We have this idea, well, the administration has this idea that they don't need congressional review, it just gets in the way. This country, 23 million Americans out of work. For every person who found a job last year, 3 people gave up looking. What are we going to do about that? It's one thing to say, let's get elected and get these people out, but what are we going to do? I believe that at the end of the day, we need to start making the moral case. We talk about facts, we talk about figures, and yes, they back up everything we're talking about. But at the end of the day, we need to let people know, these children that are in front of us right here, I'm so glad that there are children here. We are literally stealing from our future to pay for the present. We are literally taking away their opportunities at a life. When a child says, I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to send the first person to Mars, what are we going to say when they've got $16 trillion looming over their heads? What are we going to say when we say, sorry honey, in this environment, there's no way you're going to be able to build a business or build a rocket, because government completely controls every aspect of our lives. Government controls our education, they control our land. They provide our health care by force and tax us for it. They regulate each business. They're involved in every single thing that we do. What we're going to do is we're going to take the conversation back and say, no more are we going to allow you to steal from our future generation to pay for the present. No more are we going to allow for you to make every single choice in our lives. I can tell you right now, as I stand here, we can do this together. I promise you that when we go to Washington, we can make a difference. I pose a little bit of a problem for Barack Obama, if you haven't realized that. Because I oppose everything that he has said. He that we need federal government completely handcuffed, tying us to what he wants us to do. And that's not. We're putting the decision-making back in the hands of people. The hope and change we talk about lies with people, not with federal government. So, it's not necessarily about them, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid coming into Utah to keep Jim Matheson in. It's really to try and keep me out. That will not happen. We will not allow that to happen. If we stand together, we will make a change. We can no longer afford one more year of Barack Obama, one more year of Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, and for crying out loud, not one more year of Jim Matheson. Utah will stand, as Ronald Reagan said, as that shining beacon upon a hill, that shining city upon a hill. And we're all here to do that. I want to thank every one of you for being here. It warms my heart that we're filling this room. I really wish Matheson was here to see that. Maybe he would just give up and retire. But it's okay. We're tough. I'm a tough cookie, and I say bring it. So thank you all for coming. We are going to win this race. I promise you, we have the resources here. We have your help here. We will win this race. It's done this year. Let's get it done. Thank you so much.